Welcome to the ITM podcast.
This is episode 211 of the ITM podcast, the official Savannah Bananas podcast of the CLNS Media Network, brought to you by PrizePicks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network, and by Game Time, the best place to buy tickets online to sports, concerts, all your favorite events. The circus, the Savannah Bananas, how about that? They're coming to town. Best prices guaranteed. And the Boston Red Sox, they lost the series to a team decidedly better than them in the Baltimore Orioles in a frustrating series. My name is Joey Copponi. That's Scott Neville. You got any other thoughts on this Red Sox series?
Dom Smith just can't be getting picked off at second base. I don't know why that's my big takeaway from the series, but that was one where I was like, come on, what are we doing? Where were you looking to go?
There's a couple of moments in the series that were head hanging moments, and then there was a few that got chuckles out of me. Now that one got a chuckle out of me.
You know what I'm excited about is the fact that this episode, we're not going to spend 20 minutes talking about how you can't walk James McCann to get to Gunnar Henderson with the bases loaded. But I'm glad we're just not going to do that today because we got other stuff to do. That's a lot better and more exciting.
No, we're not going to talk about umpiring. We're not going to talk about anything. We're not going to talk. We're not going to talk about Jack.
Show.
Shit, yeah. I hope you guys are excited for a show about things that are not this series, because we have something a lot more exciting for you. If you clicked on this episode, I'm sure you've seen we have a very special guest coming in not too long. We are joined by Jackson Olson of the Savannah Bananas, who best spokesperson that they could muster up. It's incredible, the amount of things that guy does, and to also be good at just being PR.
Yeah, he's so cool. I just want to be friends with him, really. You know, you'll see that on the show.
Oh, we could tell. Yeah, we could all tell.
Yeah.
Can you hear that plane?
I think no, I can't.
Okay.
But hey, Joey.
Yep.
What kind of bagel can fly?
A flying bagel?
A plain bagel, Joey.
Oh, dude, come on, man.
Yeah,
that's really good. Weird? You got any others?
Got any other jokes? That's the only one. That's the only one. That's me and.
It doesn't have to be about planes. It could be about
no,
anything.
I don't have any. Yeah, that's my only joke I have. Me and Mott's have been using that one for 8 years. And you know what's weird is every single time we ask that question, every single person says everything bagel. And we're like, why does everyone do that? I don't know. I guarantee if you ask 10 people that question and 10 people don't know it, 8 of them will say everything bagel. And I don't know why.
I thought it was going to be just an anti-joke, like a bagel with wings.
No,
you know what I mean?
Come on. We're better than that. But anyway,
hey,
Jackson
Scott,
was cool.
Go
ahead.
What kind of? Wait, hold on. I'll think of one. Give me a little bit, but I got a bagel joke too. I just got to think of it.
Force a bagel joke. Oh, you don't have to.
Now, again, we're not going to talk about umpires, but if we were, if we were going to talk about the Game 3 umpiring, I would make a joke, kind of like, that umpire must have heard that Angel Hernandez news and stepped right up to fill his role. I would say something like that. Is that kind of funny? Because I thought about tweeting it and then I didn't, because I was like, I'm sure somebody already made that joke, right?
I think you're right on both accounts. I think it's pretty good, but I can't imagine that wasn't said, especially after the first pitch to Gunnar.
Yeah.
Which couldn't have been more of a strike. The second pitch, also in the strike zone for sure.
It was not for long, but it was.
Yeah, big time.
Did you hear what Lou said on the first one?
No, I don't think so.
I wrote it down. I wrote it down because Lou broke all sort of, broadcast character. It was one of those moments where you're like, does he know that he's live? He went, for the love of God, what are we doing here? That it's, it's not explicit or anything, but it is very much like something you'd say off air. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I love watching regional people get frustrated at calls. It's so fun to watch that. And even I mean I've seen it a few times this year. I feel like there has been a couple of points where it's like, man, this is tough. Oh, normally O'Brien and Uke are a little more tame in that regard, but Uke will after a while be like, not on a great night back there, like not having a good day at all.
That's very Uke.
Mm,
It's like he's stopping himself, but he's
mhm,
gotta say something. He's like, yeah, it's been a evolving zone back there,
mhm.
and certainly has been changing. Wouldn't want to be in the box tonight. Uke, Uke is really good. Lou is great,
Yep.
but unfortunately for both of them, I don't want this to just be an OB hate fest. I really don't, but
Feels like
it's
it's
tough
about
to
to be.
muster up much chemistry with Dave O'Brien for any of these guys. God, it stinks to say, but it really is the case. It's least noticeable with Lou because Lou is just such a large personality. Like there's nothing really stopping him.
It's weird because I feel like it's most noticeable with Millar just because of the polar opposite. I don't mind him as much as you guys did. I know how much you guys were anti Millar. I just like that there's some energy in there, but there are. I mean, the singing, there are things certainly where it's like, okay, guy, come on.
You know
I
what,
like them unintentionally talk.
Millar. I think what always upset me about Millar is that he makes a game impossible to half watch. Like you can't have a game on in the background with Kevin Millar calling it.
Because there's no like talk about the game going on.
No, I mean like if you're like looking at your phone and it's like it's the fifth inning and it's 7-1, and you're like, yeah, the game's on, but I'm like, I'm taking notes, I'm prepping the pitching preview. I got lives to save with the pitching preview, and
Hmm.
game's on, but this thing's over. You can't have that because Kevin Millar will be like, I used to shower and get naked. It's like,
He does talk a
what are
lot
you
about his
doing?
shower time. The players,
He does. He
a
did.
lot, a lot.
Yeah.
He used to shower with
Yeah.
that guy. It comes out a lot.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Uh, I think he might have done something with the Savannah Bananas once. Not shower.
Kevin Millar.
Yeah, I want to say he did something with them.
I don't know if he did. It seems like he would be a bananas guy. I know Johnny
Yeah.
Damon has.
Yep.
Now,
Certainly not
how about
confusing
this? How
those.
about this for some banana talk? Do you think they bring out any kind of Red Sox legend for their Fenway game? Like does
You
Poppy
know,
play or something?
we certainly. I guess I'm just thinking about that independent ball home run he hit. I can't believe we didn't ask him like, do you have anything special for like this game? Because that
Yeah.
would have been a good question for sure. He probably couldn't have told us, but like he could have given us insight. He was very like transparent. I thought, he answered really well. I don't know. I hope so. I hope there's something. Although I do wonder if like that would kind of make it too gimmicky. Like if you did see like Johnny Damon step up, would you be like, ah,
I mean, he already did that. Johnny Damon
I
already
know.
played with them.
No, I know, but would you want to be like? Would that be the game you want to go to, or no? I've kind of talked myself into it because at the same time, if it was like if like Manny Ramirez at the plate, I don't care what game it is. I'm like, let's do this.
If there's one guy they can get, it would be Manny.
Yeah, he should be
Like
full time there because he just
let
likes to
me
play.
he loves to play, but here's the thing, as I said that, Manny would be a guy who says that he's going to be there and then would not. What did Manny not show up for that I'm trying to remember? Oh man. It was something big. It was like either somebody's Hall of Fame induction. Was it his own Red Sox Hall of Fame induction? There
I
was
feel like
something
he
like
was
of that
there.
scale where he was invited back and he's like, awesome, I'll be there. And then just never showed up.
Let's see. There was a press conference for the American League All Star team.
Did you just Google
Um,
Manny Ramirez doesn't show up?
I said Manny Ramirez no show, and I'm getting a lot. I'm getting
Yep.
court. I'm getting Red Sox camp.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, camp isn't given.
Hall of Fame induction,
There it is.
but decided. I feel like I'm gonna get hit by a wall here and possibly an ad. Media Gab Fest. A lot of stuff he has not showed up for. There is an extensive. If you type in Manny Ramirez no show, there's pages of stuff he committed to
Yeah.
and didn't show up to.
Yeah. That's kind of his thing. So maybe, I don't know, maybe Manny will be there, maybe he won't.
He wasn't present at Fenway Park earlier this month when he was supposed to be inducted into the Red Sox Hall of Fame, but decided to show up on Monday night and left his mark.
That's awesome.
Then you got to pick.
Just shows up a different night.
I think he threw out a pitch with like David Ortiz or something. I kind of vaguely remember. This was recent. That was like,
Yeah, this was only like 2 years ago, I think.
yeah,
They're like, Manny, where were you? He's like, oh, sorry. I'm here now.
didn't feel like it.
He's awesome. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
I think they'll do something. Like, I don't know if
God,
Poppy would step in the box. I don't know if he would do that.
I don't think it would be him. I feel like it'd be like honestly, Brock Holt should be on that team.
Brock Holt would be a lot of fun. I don't think
I'm
he's
trying to think
around
of
though. I
like
think isn't he in Texas?
no. Papelbon, I could definitely see, and he should
Yeah,
be
but
here.
does Pap like pull enough in their eyes? You know,
I would think. I mean,
he's around all the
Damon.
time.
You think Damon's much bigger than
Yeah, no,
Papelbon?
you're right. You're right.
I mean, they had Bill Lee do stuff for them. Bill Lee's like,
Billy
who
is
are
a
they putting
part of
in?
the team.
Like who is that? But like that's not gonna bring in fans at this age.
No, but I mean, I don't know. It's Bill Lee. Like when I went to Cooperstown 2 years ago, Bill Lee was on Main Street in Cooperstown in full Savannah Bananas gear. Like he was ready for a game. Like he had cleats on.
Yeah, no, I mean he's a psychopath, but
Yeah.
I just don't know how many people would know. I don't know how much of a draw he would be.
My
Of
mom cared when I was telling her. I was like,
course.
doing the
And my
Savannah
dad
Bananas.
would
She's like, what
too.
is that? And I was like, Bill Lee does stuff. And she's like, no way, the spaceman. Yeah, the spaceman.
No.
Do you want to talk to Jackson? Or do we have anything that we want to say about that? Let me say this. Game 2 was fun. How about that? The bar has been set at there was a good game this series. I enjoyed watching game 2. There's a little bit of drama. And also, Wilyer Abreu gave a big old fuck you, put me in the lineup. I'm like the rookie of the year. So put me in the lineup, maybe. Left him out of game 1. Hits a first inning home run in game 2. There's a couple of lead
Oh,
changes. That was
we
fun.
should probably mention that Tyler O'Neill is on the IL.
Yeah, I had that in emptying my brain of thoughts. He's on the IL. His knee
Sorry, I didn't
is
mean to
right
blow
knee.
your thing. Yeah.
Whoa, pause.
Ah,
Hey, it's all right, dude. That's okay. No worries. You can do that whenever you want. What? All right.
but yeah, another injury that we were like, hey, this looks like it's gonna be nothing, and then they were like, psych. We have no
Yeah,
idea
that kind of
anymore.
seems like the Tyler O'Neill way, right? Like again, this is another thing that you
Yeah.
would know. We did this last week, where like you would probably know that better. But it
Oh,
seems like the couple injuries that he has had, it's like, oh, it's probably nothing. We're gonna put him on the 10-day. Actually,
his
we're getting
back
active.
injury last year was like, just lower back pain. We're gonna not put him down.
Yeah.
Take him out for a couple weeks, and then it was like, still hurting him, and then it was like we got to do this whole new like strength and conditioning program to like build up his lower back, which I think is fine, by the way, muscle wise. And so he was doing this like very specific like workouts, and that's all he was doing for a while. And then, yeah, it took him forever. And even when he came back, I think it was still like manageable pain. Like I don't think it was like I don't remember if he like came back and got sent on the IL again, but I remember him like being like, yeah, this still hurts. This is something I'm gonna have to just keep dealing with. So last year certainly that was the case.
Mm. I remember him saying that early in the year, the issue he was dealing with, because remember, what was it? He missed like 2 games because of his calf.
Yeah,
right?
spring training. That was spring
Yeah,
training. That wasn't
it
even.
was
It
spring
was a
training.
Puerto Rican series stuff. I think he came back.
Yes.
Wait,
And I
no,
remember,
one Dominican. That's a huge. You can't do that.
nope, they're not really close to each other either.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
they're also rivals in the World Baseball Classic.
right, which would make sense. But yeah, the Dominican series he skipped because of some calf tightness, and I heard him talk about it, and he was like, um, it was one of these or the other. I don't remember. This is horrible reporting. He either said like I had put on more weight, like I was too big, I was too strong,
Mhm.
or it was the opposite, where he's like I had changed and I wasn't like bulking as much, and I felt like I wasn't as strong as I needed to be. But he attributed that to like conditioning and being early in the year and whatever. This doesn't really seem like that. This seems like
Not to
I
me.
really still believe that it was that play at the Monster when he jumped. I don't ever want to see him jump. I don't want to see him slide. I don't want to see him jump. I want him to be a designated hitter. I want him to just have a separate
No, we got a lot of those.
runner for him. Yeah, well, we got another one.
He's a dirt dog. I like to see those guys on the field. I like the guys diving and sliding and stuff.
Is he a dirt dog though?
Oh, definitely.
Is
You
he?
don't think so?
I mean, I know he does the throw. The throw is cool. The throw is cool.
No, but I think he's all hustle.
I don't. Yeah, I'm nervous when he hustles. I was never nervous
that's
seeing
different.
Pedroia hustle.
Well, that's different. That's like a injury. Like,
That's what
you
I
know,
mean. Can you be a dirt dog who gets hurt a lot?
well, I'm just saying when he's on the field, that's his player type. And a lot of people run themselves into the ground because of that.
Yeah.
People would argue Pedroia was one of those people.
I would argue Manny Machado tried to kill him.
Mm-hmm. That's true too.
You ever think about 2016 about how that was really like the end of Poppy and Petey?
I think
Because
about
he,
that slide once a month.
yeah, but I mean not just the slide, but like
That era.
how ceremoniously or unceremoniously, like that was really a passing of the torch to the next
Big time.
to the next wave. It was like
I don't
2016 was
think
the
about that,
end
but
of
you're
like
right.
the era, like the era we grew up with, or at least I did. And then, brought in, the triple Bs and that era that then turned into none of them being here. And now we're waiting for the next one. There just wasn't an ushering of the next one. You know what I mean?
Certainly not ushering, but you're right. That's a good point. Never thought about it once.
Mhm.
It's just weird because like we could have just like kept those guys and they would still have them. But
Yeah, but like, they're the guys age and they're not the same. Look
Bogey
at
right
Poppy's
now.
last year in 2016.
No,
Just
he was
not the
awesome.
same.
No, he was like third at MVP or something. He was a
Yeah, no, you don't want those
It was
guys to stick
it
around,
was
Scott.
arguably it was like either his like best or second best season of his career.
Nah, dude, he only had 127 RBIs.
Yeah,
His OPS was only 1021. Led the
yeah, a lot of
majors.
bold. Yeah, a lot of bold and Baseball Reference.
48 doubles. Led the bigs in
Mm.
that too.
Yeah,
Led the bigs in intentional walks. Nobody even wanted to fucking face this guy. He hit 315, played in 151 games. That's not a guy you need around. See, as guys age, they just change. You don't need
if
them.
you look at his Baseball Savant page from that year, it's one of my favorite things because there's not much Baseball Savant data from him. I think 2 years maybe.
Yeah.
But that year is silly. A lot of 100 percentiles in those like exit velocity type numbers.
Oh my God. Batting run value 100. Expected
Yep.
slug 100. Expected
hmm
weighted on base average 100.
hmm
99 in average exit velocity. 98 in batting average. Expected batting average. 7th percentile in sprint speed. Dude sucks.
Yeah, well, that's because he had to get like work done before and after every single game, just to keep his ankles afloat.
Yeah. Don't throw him changeups, dude. He's hitting career 337 on the changeups.
That was kind of they don't throw it low and in against David Ortiz.
Mm.
They kind of made that
Yeah.
like a whole like lefty thing. Don't throw changeups into lefties, and it's like
Mhm.
could have thrown one at me. Trust me, not David Ortiz. Like
Yeah, I
they
think it
teach
might
you
just
that
be a
from
Poppy
like
thing.
Little League on, where they're like, do not throw changeups to lefties. I'm like, that does not apply to most of us. I promise. Like, you can throw changeups to me. I promise. And that guy too. And that guy, because we're not David. None of us are David Ortiz.
Yeah, you can throw me basically anything.
Nah, don't throw me a curveball. That ball's getting right out to
far
way.
away, to far
Over
away
there.
land.
Mhm.
You know what's fun is I read this thing about teaching kids how to hit because t-ball coach over here, right?
Right.
And just like the best way to do it, and like you don't want to fill their head with everything right? Because I know so much about hitting. Like you don't want to fill their heads if they're 5 years old, trying to teach them about torque and whatever,
Mhm.
So I'm like, where do you start? Like, how do you what to correct them when you see them, but like, how much can you tell them? And this thing that I was reading was talking about like teaching them to swing like a 1920s, like old baseball swing.
Interesting.
And it's,
Just
I was
squish the
like,
bug.
it's a lot of arms, which like you wouldn't think is the case. You'd think you'd want to get them.
Yeah, I get that though. You want to just them to be athletic. Can I give you one piece of advice for your
By all
kid? That
means.
because I'm close enough to being one that I remember what screwed me up for like 2 years. I one time because I think I grew up in the era where like every grade it started to become more like it used to be like college is like the big leagues. Like they start treating that really serious. And then like now high school becomes like your coaches are, cussing you out and stuff and it really matters and everything matters. And then there's AAU and like middle school. So I quickly it felt like I was trying to be a big leaguer when I was like the second I got to the big mound, probably like 13, where they're just like trying to make it about science and stuff like that. I had a
Mhm.
coach like there was like a kinetic like professor basically teaching me every like like the kinetic chain. I always remember the kinetic chain, and we would swing with like no balls and like for hours and just work on like the kinetic chain. And then I would be thinking about that when I hit, and I'm not reacting at all or being an athlete. So if you could fill their head with nothing and tell them to be an athlete, it took me probably 2 3 years to like get out of the like I'm thinking about my swing at the plate, which is so bad. And
Yeah.
so that's I would just say don't try and complicate it.
Yeah. No, I think it really is like you instill the fundamentals so that you're not thinking about it. You're
Yeah.
not thinking
And
about
it
your swing.
makes you
You're only
I
thinking
sucked.
about.
Yeah. That was my worst period for baseball for real like for sure. And then like towards the end of high school, I was like maybe sophomore through senior year, I was like, just go swing the bat, dude. Like chill. And then
So what you're
immediately
saying is find a way to make baseball fun.
yeah. Yeah, like if there was like a way to like make it fun, that would be cool.
Oh my God, dude. My friend Jackson was just talking to me about this.
Do you think he'd call you a friend?
Yeah, let's talk to my friend Jackson. He plays for this team called the Savannah Bananas, and they're making baseball fun again. Maybe I shouldn't. Mm,
Mm.
mm,
Mm.
they're
It
making
is
baseball
Savannah.
fun.
It is Georgia.
Yeah. You gotta be careful with that. They're having a good time. They're having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk to Jackson Olson of the Savannah Bananas after a quick word from our friends at Prize Picks. With Prize Picks, you could turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game watching your favorite sports this summer. You can make a Prize Picks lineup in as little as 60 seconds. You just need to pick more or pick less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you're locked in. When the finals are over, the hoops action doesn't stop on Prize Picks. Women's basketball is just getting started. With young stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese looking to make names for themselves, alongside greats like Breanna Stewart and Asia Wilson, you could win up to 100 times your cash watching them ball out. Prize Picks is so easy to use, dude, and I gotta be honest, I've kind of been making bank over there. This week on Prize Picks, I'm selecting Caitlin Clark for more than 3.5 3-pointers made and Breanna Stewart for more than 23 points. So download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS for a first match deposit up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Prize Picks. All right, we are joined by Jackson Olson of the Savannah Bananas. First off, thank you for coming on, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
You guys are on tour right now. So how has that been so far?
It's been insane. Luckily, last year we had our kind of first real go at a big time tour with over 80 games. So this year we're kind of refreshed and we kind of understand like how everything's supposed to run. But every single time we get to a city, we know that there's going to be fans seeing it for the first time. So we can't just lollygag around just because it's our second year. We feel like every single show has to be better than the next. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of travel, but yeah, most of all, a lot of fun.
Yeah, so we're a Red Sox podcast by nature. I know you're a Yankees fan. You probably hate to hear that.
Nah,
But yeah, so can you give us a quick breakdown of the Savannah Bananas baseball just in general? Because I know it's kind of a lot of people describe it in different ways, but it would be better hearing it from you than if we tried to explain what you guys do. Because I know you called it a show there, which is interesting. That's an interesting description.
yeah, it's a show. It's also a game. So I would say there's the big difference when you think about the Globetrotters and you think about the Generals. I mean, the big difference is that the Globetrotters are winning every single game. It's more of a show. It's more of that like you can script basketball the gameplay of basketball much easier than you can script baseball. So when that pitch comes out of the pitcher's hand, like you're still hitting with a circular bat and it's still hitting a circular ball. So a lot of people think like, oh, when a banana hits a home run or when the Bananas win 10, like we've never won 10-0. It's actually impossible to win 10-0 in banana ball. But when the Bananas win 4-0, we win 3 games in a row. It's scripted, but that's impossible. You just can't do it that way. So I would say the main reason the Bananas exist is to make baseball fun. And Jesse Cole, the owner, always preaches that. And the second reason, which is honestly the more important reason, is to put the fans first. And I feel like when the Bananas started, they realized there was a big problem with fan interaction and fan engagement in professional sports. And you have this barrier, whether it's physical or imaginary barrier you have between the fan and the player. And we break it down completely in Banana Ball. And I think the fans know that, and they know that they're going to get with their ticket they buy for hopefully $25 and they don't buy it online for $400 that people resell it for. But with that ticket, they know they're going to get the best experience they can possibly get. And I think word of mouth travels fast and people kind of realize that.
One thing you just said there, I actually learned recently, and that's, although this might sound dumb to some people listening, it's the fact that it's an actual game and that it's not scripted. Because you see the highlights online. Obviously, you guys are huge on TikTok. I would quote what your following is, but I'm sure it's changed since 20 minutes ago when I checked. But you see like your shortstop catching a line drive, doing a backflip. You're like, oh, that's an orchestrated, practiced thing. And I'm sure there are aspects of the game that are like that, but it being an actual competition and there being like that element to it, I don't know if most people know that. So that did catch me off guard. That was new information to me. But when we learned we were going to get the chance to talk to you, the first question on my mind, and I think most people's mind, is how does one become a Savannah Banana? It's not exactly the traditional baseball route. So give us the story of your baseball career and how you ended up doing what you do now.
Yeah, it's a good question. There's definitely a lot of ways to get on the Bananas. Mine is pretty unique, I would say. I played 4 years Division I baseball. I played at U-Heart, played shortstop there for 3 years. And then after COVID that year, I transferred to Stetson, played third base there, and played in the Cape Cod League my junior year of college, and actually got the chance to, which is really cool because you guys are Red Sox fans and we're playing at Fenway, and it all kind of molds together right here. But I got the chance to play a showcase day at Fenway Park when I was in the Cape Cod League, and did pretty well and was playing pretty well in the Cape, and got an offer from the Diamondbacks. Little offer, $5,000 to go sign and play with the Diamondbacks. At the time, they had the most minor league teams, most low teams, and most players in all of minor league baseball. So it was kind of like hey, we're going to give you the smallest amount with the most amount of players and the most amount of competition. So here you go. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome. Like at first, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take that. Are you kidding? Like that's offer to play professional baseball. It's my dream. That's every kid's dream, right?
Yeah.
And then I talked to my coach at Hartford, Justin Blood, talked to my dad, and they were like, calm down. Like COVID hadn't happened yet. So they're like, calm down, go play your senior year of college and hopefully get drafted next year for more money when they have more value in you and they're not going to just get rid of you after this year. Because there's a chance that you can go and get signed, and then while your teammates at Hartford are playing their senior year, you've been cut. And he's like, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but there's a chance there is. And I was like, holy crap. Like, I didn't think about any of that stuff. I was 22 years old thinking I have a chance to go try to play Major League Baseball. But then I ended up not getting drafted. Obviously, the MLB draft went from 40 rounds to 5 rounds the next year because of COVID. And I had a very good chance of getting drafted that next year if I had a good year. Didn't work out. And then I started delivering groceries for Instacart because I didn't want to get a real job yet. The immaturity in me, which I'm glad I was immature now, said I don't want to get a regular desk job right now. So I started delivering groceries for Instacart just to make a few dollars. Moved to California. And with literally you're probably asking yourself, like, how did you move to California with no money? It's the most expensive place to live. Like, I probably should ask myself that same question.
Yeah.
But I did it anyway.
Chasing the dream.
And then I got an offer. Yeah, chasing the dream. I got an offer with MLB to be part of their creator class. And it was very new, very an interesting thing that no one had ever really pursued before in professional sports, which is having creators go make videos at these games and pay them for them. Like, that wasn't a thing that was like prominent. Other than YouTube, obviously. So I started doing that. And then after posting, I think we had to post like 12 videos for the creator class, and I posted like 75 because I was just like, if I'm doing this and I want to not deliver groceries for Instacart, I want to make the most of this. Like, if I'm in any affiliation with MLB or with this company that I wanted to be a part of to play, like, no matter what field I'm doing it in, I want to work with Major League Baseball. That was my new dream. And then Game Time reached out. Actually, I see Game Time right there as one of the sponsors.
Oh, yeah.
Game Time reached out to me, and they were like, "Hey, we want to send you on this California Major League Baseball tour to 7 stadiums." And immediately, like, before they said anything else, I'm like, "Yes, I'm in. You could pay me. I could pay you to do this right now." And it was really cool because they ended up paying me. They ended up paying for all my travel to go to these stadiums and rank them. Ended up doing well with that. And then I was like, "Can I go to the rest of them and rank them?" And they were like, "We got to see what's in our budget, but like, we'll see." Month down the line, they were like, go to the rest of them and rank them. So I got to stadium 22, and the Savannah Bananas show up on my For You page. And I'm like, all right, crap. Like, this looks awesome. I hadn't played baseball in a year, hadn't picked up a baseball in a year. I was okay with being done. I had actually, for content purposes, I had done the radar thing at MLB Parks for content to see how hard I could throw. And I was like, I definitely have a torn shoulder, so because of that, so I can't go play baseball. But I was like, the bananas look so cool. Maybe I can make content for them. I don't know. So I made a video saying how cool I thought they were, and the owner reached out. Jesse reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, like, how can we team up?" And I was like, "Team up? What? Like, you guys are way like that. That's way out of my league. I feel like you guys are like way bigger than teaming up with me for something." And he was like, "Just come down, make content for a few weeks, and see how you like it." And I was like, make content. And I was like, I could make content that seems cool, but I want to play. And I was like, I told him on the phone, I was like, I know you have a shortstop, you have a second baseman, Ryan Cox, Dalton Malden, but you don't have a third baseman. I know that because I've been watching every single game on YouTube. And he's like, all right, yeah, you're right. We don't have a specific third baseman that we use. And then, long story short, here I am.
Wow. So you were called on to come make content, and you were like, you know what, I can do you one better. I can play the hot corner.
Yeah.
Savannah,
who used to, Savannah, while I'm here, Savannah, who used to be one of our social media directors, literally wrote an email out like, "Hey, you're going to come down. Maybe we can even get you in the dugout." That's my favorite line in the entire email. "Maybe we can even get you in the dugout." And I was like, all right, like, that's cool. But like, I want to be in the dugout because I'm playing, whatever. But it ended up working out. And it's a really cool story of like how it started from literally nothing. And now it's here. So
you came to the team like very aware of what they do. Have you ever talked to any of like the OG Bananas? Because I'm really curious, like, what it was like to be like, the first couple people approached and to be asked to be part of this, experimental, brand new, like, groundbreaking kind of thing.
So 2 of them are actually still on the team. Bill Leroy and Kyle Weeks. Those are the guys that I looked at where I'm like, these are the guys. Like, these are the Bananas. When they played in the college summer league, they were the only 2 guys, pitcher, catcher, only 2 guys in the entire team that had their names in the back. It was Bill and Kyle. And it was just so cool to know that, like, okay, when I come into this organization, I want to make sure that, like, those are obviously my teammates, but like, those are the guys that helped create this entire thing from the ground up. So I want to learn from them. Like I want to understand what this is all about from them. Then you look at the next tier of guys that came in like a little bit after them. Dan Oberst, which he might have started with them. Dan Oberst, Ryan Cox, Dalton Malden. So all these guys that I'm looking at where I'm like, I'm looking up to them as baseball players, and I've never even met them in person. I've never even seen them play baseball. I've only seen them on social media, and I'm like, these are the coolest guys in the entire world. Like, if I even had a chance to play with them, that would be awesome. And now Ryan Cox, the shortstop, is my best friend. Like, he's going to be in my wedding. Like, three or four of these guys are going to be in my wedding. So it's crazy to think that, like, the guys who literally helped start this thing are still here, still playing every single day, and, like, still loving it just as much or more as they did when they first started the team.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
awesome.
I loved the part about you just being like, yeah, I'm not doing this whole real job thing. Not for me. I did the same thing when I graduated. I had no reason to believe that I was gonna do anything cool, but I didn't get one for like 8 months because I was like waiting for the right thing, and then I was able to launch a Red Sox site for Sports Illustrated, start my own company. So that was seeing just like a path that doesn't exist at first, and then just creating one. Same with the MLB, the creator program. Like that's my dad was always just like, you have no idea what's going to happen. I'm like, these jobs don't exist, but you just hold out long enough. But now you're a banana. Like he talked about, how do you get there? One thing I was really curious about initially is what does a practice look like? Like, how much of it is baseball? How much of it is like learning dances and doing the bits? And because there's obviously like choreographed stuff that you need to learn and that you guys all need to get on the same page about. But I want to know how much of it is also like BP and infield, outfield, and throwing bullpens from the pitcher's perspective. So I'm curious, and also how often do you guys like get together? Like, is it a daily practice in between? If you're not having games, is it a practice, or what does the layout look like from a practice perspective?
Yeah, so on non-game days, on just practice days, it's heavy on baseball. So I mean, honestly, like heavy on banana ball because even when we're taking ground balls, we're like no one's taking a regular ground ball, fielding it cleanly, and throwing it to first. Like we're doing a trick play on every single ground ball we get because that's the time we have to practice it. Like on game day, you don't have a ton of time to practice those things. And then when we're hitting, we're just hitting. Like that's like BP is BP. It's a regular like 5 rounds, 5 swings. Like we feel like regular baseball players at that moment. And then we have OTT meetings, which is over the top meetings where we have to think like literally so outside the box for some of these ideas of like whether it's coming up with run celebrations, run scoring celebrations, or walk ups for pitchers, for hitters. So for example, like I literally went from the other day hitting in the cage and practicing my swing, trying to go opposite field, to 10 minutes later walking in the locker room and having in my notebook written down walk up to Grease song with Nana Gale. Like you guys might not even know what that means. Like I'm like that was my idea to like have a walk up to Grease. You're the one that I want with one of our banana nanas, and like that's how fast your brain has to switch in this banana ball world that we're living in. It's a lot of baseball. It's a lot of baseball, and we're still baseball players. Like, well, I think the one thing too is like this is so new. Banana ball is so new that all of us are still baseball players. Like maybe in 10 years, banana ball, when guys have played for like 6 or 7 years, like then they'll be more like the theatrical guys that can still play. But like I think now it's the thing where guys are coming out of college, they just want to play baseball more. Like, okay, yeah, we have a lot of entertainment we have to do, and guys learn how to do the entertainment. But the cool thing about our entertainment directors is they know how to talk to baseball players. You have to know, like, hey, I can't do a split. Like, I straight up can't do a split, can't do a handstand. Like, so they create these dances for us so they know that we're able to do them and remember them. So it's a really cool dynamic that we have there. But yeah, I would say it's split 50-50 of like baseball centered practice and then obviously OTT meetings and entertainment and figuring out ball four sprints because we don't have walks in banana ball. So figuring out all of that stuff.
So this might be an impossible question to answer then. I don't even know if it's possible, like put yourself into one bucket here, but do you see yourself as, a baseball player, as an entertainer, an influencer? I know you've got like over 600,000 followers on Instagram. Like, is there a prevailing job description that you can give yourself?
No, and I think we're learning to kind of accept that. And I think that's the cool thing about how this is all like panning out is these guys are realizing, like, from my perspective, I was a baseball player and then not a baseball player at all. And then I was an influencer and then like nothing else. So it like started out, I was just a baseball player, then just an influencer. And I never thought of myself as an entertainer, but now all three are combined. And so I'm kind of accepting the fact of that. And like, I know I'm never going to play minor league baseball again. I'm never going to like get to a next level, and I don't want to. And I think a lot of the guys here, this is one of the really cool stories that recently happened in Banana Land. We had a kid that played at I think it was Kent State, and he basically called the Bananas and was like, I want to be a Banana. I don't want to try to play professional baseball. I don't want to try to get drafted. I don't want to try any of this. I don't care about any of it. I want to play for the Savannah Bananas. And it's like, whoa, like that's how much this whole thing is changing, where guys are realizing, hey, this is like the most fun you can possibly have on a baseball field. So I don't want to be a baseball player. I don't want people to say, oh, that's Jackson Olsen, the baseball player. Like that used to be me. That used to be all of us. But if you're not accepting your new role and like living it out to the full extent and posting videos with that yellow uniform on, you're missing out.
That's awesome, man. I mean, the stuff you guys make is so awesome. I've followed you on Instagram. I've followed the Bananas for years. Like the second that it came across my timeline, I used to work in the baseball content creation, which I guess is what I still do, but more
Big
direct,
time.
video creation back in the day, more so than podcasting. And the second that our team came across you guys, we were like, yeah, this is going somewhere. This is going to be something, and it just keeps growing. But speaking of your Instagram, I got to point this out just because if anybody out there is not following Jackson, first of all, missing out. But you posted something very recently, I believe it was last night, a heartwarming story. A little girl who reached out, is asking you to come to her birthday party. You guys ended up bringing her there. Just the classic heartfelt, heartwarming story of you guys doing the right thing for the community. So I actually had something that I wanted to bring to your attention because we got something that another little guy who wanted to
not that little,
share a
but
message with you. A pretty little guy who
He's
wanted to
not
share a
that
message with
small.
you. He's very small. Here he is.
Hi, I'm Scott. I'm 24 years old, and I'm actually a really big fan of yours. I actually dressed up as you for Halloween a few years in a row there. Anyway, the main reason I'm making this video is to invite you to my house party on June 7th. It's gonna be a rager. It's gonna be beer, liquor, tons of girls, so many girls. They went to a different school than us, but like they're totally real, and there's gonna be like a lot of them. In real, we got a whole pong room back there just for games and partying in general, just having a great time. Get 3 showers. I don't know why I mentioned that. It's sort of really gonna be applicable probably to the party. Anyway, my roommate Steve is a huge Swiftie, so actually he'll be playing. He'll be on aux, and I'm sure you'll like the music. And also, like, we know you're gonna be here June 8th, and I'm gonna be there. So we kind of know you're gonna be in town in Boston, and it's gonna be kind of awkward.
It's entrapment a little
I'm
bit,
gonna
Scott.
see you the next day, but yeah, no pressure. And also, I have my glove upstairs if you ever wanted to, like, if it was like, we want to jump outside for a second, play catch. But no pressure. I hope you can make it. It'd mean a lot to me.
Wow.
How about?
Well, you got to find whoever that
that?
kid. You got to find whoever that little kid is, and let him know.
Not that little, but yeah.
I
don't know. It sounds pretty cool. I don't know. It's his birthday. I think it's his 25th. I don't know. It soun's pretty cool. So yeah, maybe I don't know.
I just need to know. I have one question. Just like, how did you keep it together during that? Like after the bathroom part.
Yeah. No. Honestly, that was only. I think that was my second try. And the first one, I just forgot everything that I was supposed to say. I mean, I guess I made a really, really shitty movie my senior year, so I have experience making dumb comedies. And I think that was it. But yeah, it was pretty. I mean, I didn't really have anything written down except for the first part where I tried to copy exactly what that girl said.
The effort was there. The effort was there.
At first, I was actually expecting to like cry again. But yeah.
But you're saving the tears for off camera. I get it.
Right.
I meant that like this time I stopped. Yeah, this time I actually stopped.
Yeah, exactly. We mentioned that you guys are on the road now, and the support just keeps growing. Here's just a little check-in, just a bigger life question. When you get the banana call and you get the thumbs up, we want you to be our third baseman. Did you ever see it growing to this point? Do you ever see yourself like playing at Fenway Park a couple years down the line?
No, I don't think anyone did. I know Jesse had that dream and that goal written down in his idea book a while ago, but like I thought I was just going to come play 6 games because that's really all it was. It was the summer series. I was going to play 6 games in August and then go back to regular life. And luckily, like after that 6th game, I got brought into the office. Hey, we might do this tour next year, or not. We are doing this tour next year. Might want you along for the ride. Stay tuned. And then we had a meeting about it, and then luckily that happened. But like I was planning on just going back to California after that and trying to figure out what's my next move because I literally did not know there was going to be a tour. Like there was no talks about that before. I was just so excited to be involved in it at all. And then luckily, like I think there were 3 or 4 of us that came in just for that summer series and then got brought on full time with the team. Noah Bridges being one of them. We were just like the whole time we're like, I hope there's something after this. Like I hope there's something after this. This is the most fun we've ever had. So yeah, I had no idea it was going to get to this at all.
Yeah, well,
this is a little. Is it sold out already?
What?
It's sold out for sure. Fenway.
It's sold out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Fenway is. Yeah.
Here's a little tip that I'm sure every player that joins the Red Sox gets. I'm going to give it to you. Boston just loves a good pat on the back. Just like if you can just if you want just like a clip of you right here, this would be a great time to be like, I've been most excited for Fenway. Like of all the stops on the tour, this is obviously the best one. Anything like that would go a long way.
Yeah, make sure you screen record this part and just post this part. No.
Yeah.
Actually, like for real though, I grew up a Yankees fan. Fenway Park is the most anticipated place for me all year, 100%. Like there's no better mecca of baseball that you could possibly think of to play. All right, is the camera off now?
Yeah. We'll cut this part. We're gonna cut the Yankees part too, just in case.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I mean,
the one thing I really want to do, I want to sign the inside of the wall. That's my goal. And when I was on my tour, when I was ranking MLB parks, they didn't let me do it. So I'm like, hey, I'm playing now, so can you let me do it now?
I mean, there's got to be that moment. You'll all get in there, I think.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah.
I mean, they've made it harder to do, but you're on the field. I feel like that's possible. Maybe I'll talk to some old security guards, see what I can do.
Yeah, we'll sneak you in the back.
I'll just go play left field for an inning and then sneak in. Hey, I had to go get something out of the warehouse.
There used to be a bathroom break spot. So if you can play left field and go in between innings, that's what some people, that's what like Manny Ramirez used to do.
And he used to do it in the middle of the game.
Yeah, well, big time.
I mean, that makes sense. If he's not hitting the next inning, you might as well.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be a thing you might be able to check off. You mentioned it very briefly, but you did play in the Cape League. People are going to be excited to hear that. You played for Hyannis. What was your favorite aspect of that experience? Because that's obviously that's the premier league. I think 25% of the people get drafted out of there. You got an offer out of there, so it's obviously any game you go to, it's like, oh, there's like families, and then there's like 15 scouts that you can tell are very clearly scouts for every single game, different gear, all that stuff. So what was your favorite aspect about playing the Cape League?
Oh, I mean, I could talk about the baseball aspect. I mean, from a baseball aspect, I was the only guy in the starting infield and also like 7 pitchers that didn't get drafted. I was the only guy that didn't get drafted in the starting 9. And now I'm looking at that team, looking back on it. Jordan Westberg, MLB player. He was our shortstop. Nick Lofton, MLB player. He was our second baseman. Like, that was our infield. I'm trying to think of other guys. Edward Julian, Minnesota Twins, like MLB player, stud. Like, those 3 guys I just listed are going to be all-stars in 5 years. And he played first base for us. And so it's like, I was at third, and then 3 MLB all-stars were to the left of me. Like, where else are you getting that? We also came in last place that year. If you look at the stats, we literally came in dead last. Didn't make the playoffs. So the fact that, anyway, that's the baseball aspect. But the coolest part for me was just the atmosphere of being in the Cape. You felt like you were on another planet. Like, you're taking yellow school buses to Chatham where they made movies. Like, it's not a regular baseball league. And I I just kept staying. I was only supposed to be there for 3 days, just to fill in some spots while guys were playing for Team USA. And I made really good friends with the coach. And that's not the reason why I stayed out, but Ron Polk, who's a legend, Cape legend, Mississippi State legend, and he smoked 8 cigars a day. Nuts. But it was just really cool to be able to interact with him and learn from him, and then show him that, like, hey, I know you're an old guy now, like you're 80, but like I'm this kid from Hartford who just wanted a chance to play. And he gave me the chance, and it was just really cool to play there.
Cape League is awesome. I mean, the Cape itself is awesome, but the Cape League is sweet. Have you seen Summer Catch? Do you know that movie?
Oh yeah, that's why when we went to Chatham, I was like, "Was it filmed here?" And they were like, "No, I think it was filmed in like Indiana or something." I'm like, "Damn it!"
Yeah. I don't even think they use the Cape, but regardless, the Cape is sweet. The Cape is sweet. So what's next? What's next for you guys for the Bananas? You guys have sold out your home field for what, like years straight. I know there's like a waiting list to get tickets. You guys have done tours. You know, played minor league parks. You're playing major league parks. Where do you go from here?
Definitely overseas. That's definitely next on Jesse Cole's radar. The cool thing that he always says is he's not looking at the next quarter, he's looking at the next quarter century. So I think right now he's in like 2030 plan. Or no, he's in 2029 right now. Like legit, like he's literally in plan, like has a book like written for 2029, which is literally 5 years away. But yeah, it's going overseas. It's selling out more major league stadiums. Having the first ever, like playing the first game of the year and the last game of the year in the same game, like just like stuff like that. Bananaween, like Halloween games, Christmas games, and yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity. Definitely overseas, obviously. Maybe next year, maybe the year after that. We don't know for sure yet. But I think that's the next really big test is, can we take this overseas? Will people even want to go? Like, do people like us overseas? Like, I get a lot of messages, come to the UK, come to the UK. But like, are there enough people over there that love it enough?
Right.
So that's kind of the next test is like, can it work there?
Yeah, that's very interesting, and it does seem to I mean, expansion is definitely on the horizon. There's plenty of just like people in my friend group who, you know, they don't follow the Red Sox, they don't follow baseball that much, but they know who you are. Like this actually started because I didn't know you guys were coming to Fenway until I posted a story just credentialed at a Red Sox game, and I had a girl in our friend group swipe up and be like, "Hey, get me tickets to this thing. Like, use your connections, talk to David Ortiz, whatever you got to do, get me in there." And I was like, you know what? I was like, we definitely got to like do something with these guys. Like we've also been, you can't follow baseball and not see you all the time. It's just, you know, now we have an excuse basically. It wouldn't have made sense to cover a Savannah game. Because the fact that you're coming here, like we can basically just ignore the Red Sox for a week and do this. And
Yeah, this is a Bananas show for a couple episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Sweet.
the Red Sox aren't great, so we're gonna pretend they, you know, take a break from talking about who we're gonna sell at the trade deadline and do this for a while. It'll actually be fun. But if you could, I was curious if you could pick one person to attend a game, not named Taylor Swift, because I know that's probably gonna be your answer, to come to a Savannah Banana game, who would you pick? And you don't say me either. That'd be, you know, that's just gonna be weird.
It was all right. Well, it was going to be you. So now I got to think. We got to pause it for a second because I was going to be you. So probably Hugh Jackman. Just because
that would make sense.
He's the greatest showman. And to just do, whether it was like doing a scene with him, like before I walk up to the plate, or like I'm the greatest showman, then it transforms into him or something. Like I've thought about it a million times, like how cool that would be, especially at a major league park where there's so many people being able to see it. Or Lin-Manuel Miranda, Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm big into musicals, so I think that would be the coolest thing. And people that come to Bananas games, there's a lot of overlap between Bananas, musicals, Taylor Swift, like that whole like world right there. So I think that'd be really cool.
All right, whoa, I don't know what the hell that was. But
yeah, I live on an airfield. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be there. We'll see you. Obviously, we'll see you June 7th. So, Joe, you're going to that party, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Jackson will both see you at the party for sure.
Yeah, just so you guys know, there's like 5 parking spots right next to my place. But
you can text us the day of. You can tell us the day of.
There's like a lot more parking. Yeah. Well, of course.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about it now.
To your people. right? But just so you know,
Okay.
and then we'll also be there the 8th. So we'll probably all be hungover and stuff from the party. But
Yeah, we definitely will. We definitely will. We'll talk when it gets a little bit closer because that's like days away,
Mm.
so we don't need to know right now. Jackson, you got
Should
anything
I
you
bring
want to?
anything? Should I bring anything or like?
I
You want to bring
mean,
anything?
it's bring your own beer, but there's a liquor store like right across, and we'll have stuff. So really, just just a good attitude, really. Maybe a playlist. Maybe see what you got. I'll see if we can kick Steve off the aux. But yeah, I mean,
Okay,
just
and also no party animals allowed. Like only bananas, no party animals.
I can make that work. Yeah, that's fine. It kind of
Okay,
sounds like they might be
perfect.
more aptly named for that. But yeah, we'll go with Savannah side. We're obviously rooting for you guys.
All right, deal. Perfect.
Jackson, you got anything you want to plug? I know your handles are at Jackson Olsen _ on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, right?
Yep.
And you guys obviously are going to be at Fenway Park June 8th. I'm hearing it's sold out. My sources are telling me there might still be ways to get into the building. If you know somebody, try to get there. I understand, how all this stuff works. I bet you guys could have sold out that place for like 3 nights. I really do. A lot of buzz about
It's
you
been
guys
sold out
here.
for a while.
Yeah.
Weeks.
Yeah. But we appreciate you coming on here, and we will see you there. And yeah, thanks so much for joining us, man. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you guys. See you at the party. Can't promise I'm going to bring anything, but I'll bring good vibes. So.
Yeah, that's all we really need. We can bring
all we need.
everything else.
Cool.
All right.
Sounds good. Thank you,
The
guys.
NBA Finals are here, and you guys know I'm a huge hoop head. Game Time makes getting NBA Finals tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets. You guys already know my favorite part, and it's seeing the view from your seat. What a feature. You want to know what your view is going to look like? Boom, Game Time's got you. Game Time also offers all-in pricing to avoid any surprise fees, and with their lowest price guarantee, Game Time will credit 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA Finals tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right. Thanks to Jackson for coming on. That was good. Dude, that was a lot of fun talking to him. Fun guy.
Yeah, man, like I said, I don't think I came off too desperate, did I?
No. I bet no, he
'Cause
DM'd
I
me
don't
after the show and he was like, your co-host is really cool. So
Really? Awesome.
yeah, he did say something about he's not sure if he's gonna be able to make it though to the party.
No, he asked what he was gonna bring. He's obviously coming. He wouldn't I told him to bring the vibes. If he doesn't bring the vibes, we don't have a party.
Yeah. No, I'm sure it'll still be a good party without him.
You know what's weird though?
What?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Is he didn't I followed him after that, and he didn't follow me back.
That is weird. He followed me back.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
I'll kill myself.
Don't check. He followed me back.
Oh yeah, so you didn't follow you back.
Don't check.
I'm jacking.
You know what the Savannah Bananas made me think of? This is more important, Scott. Put phones down.
Oh, I typed in Joey on yours. That was gonna
Funny.
solve anything. That's weird. I'm sorry.
We're done with the phones though. We're done with checking because he followed me. So you don't even
He
need
didn't
to.
though, because I just checked and he didn't.
I think it requested because I'm private, so I gotta accept his follow request.
Oh, right. He did say after the interview, he's like, "Where you guys sitting?" I was like, "Don't know."
We're not sitting, brother. We're covering you guys.
Whoa.
Well, here's the thing about the Savannah Bananas and their whole thing. I wanted to say this on the interview, but I think it made more sense to just talk about you and me afterwards. When baseball was the biggest thing in the world, right? Which is like 1920s, 1930s, mid 1940s, right? That's like the heyday when baseball explodes into being America's pastime, right? At that time, baseball was like the coolest thing in the world, like the coolest thing there had ever been. Right?
Yeah.
There wasn't that didn't exist. And there was no other entertainment like that. You could go to the
It was the
circus.
only thing. Yeah.
It was the only thing. In the 1920s, I'm going to say this with pretty solid confidence. I don't think there was movie theaters. Like, I don't think you could go to do other things.
There were
So,
very few options. We can say that for sure.
and what they did at home, like what they did for fun, was like, you find a stick and you find a hula hoop and you try to keep the hoop rolling. So it made sense that it was like the largest form of entertainment that there was baseball. And then the world changed and we got phones and it's fun to look at phone. And sure, baseball, you have to be a nerd about it to really enjoy it, right? Unless you're casual at the ballpark having a hot dog, watching the Freeze beat somebody in a race, like. But beyond that, like, you got to really be into it to be into it.
Those are people showing up to the park like, are we good this year? Not like
Yes.
us.
Yeah. But like, what would bring people in, evidently, is to make it a spectacle again and to make it something that you have to see in person and to make it something that is something you only see there. And that's what they've done. They've mastered it, cornered it. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. And what's cool is that you don't see any old heads, as they call them. You don't see any of them like upset at what the Bananas do. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe it's out there, but I don't see anybody being like, what the hell are they doing? That's not baseball. It's like, I think everybody knows, like, it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this. I think I might have said it on the interview. If I did, I'm repeating myself. But I have people that do not care about the Red Sox, aren't particularly baseball fans, that like are so excited. Like I'm bringing people to the game that are not typical baseball fans that love Jackson, love the Bananas, know the players. I mean, if you just right now, if you're a legitimate fan of baseball, go check out of your friends who follows the Savannah Bananas, and I think you're going to be surprised, particularly for me with the female demographic, like the people that like girls in my friend group that I would have never thought don't care at all that I do this. Like they're not like, that's so cool. But then, hey, can you get me into the Bananas game? It's like, oh, okay. Now this is the first thing I interviewed David Ortiz. You didn't bat an eye. Now you're intrigued.
It's crazy. It's crazy
Yeah.
what they're doing. Yeah, but thanks to Jackson. Follow him if you don't, at Jackson Olsen _. Follow the Savannah Bananas. We don't need to promote them. I think they're doing
Everyone
just fine.
follows. Everyone
Everyone
Jackson.
follows him. We just said
Here
that.
we are.
You just said that. So, but thanks for him for coming on. I don't want to be all too short on the Red Sox talk, although this series stunk and I didn't have too much fun. I had fun watching the Orioles. If I was a fan of neither of these teams, I would have watched this and been like, man, these Orioles are supposed to be like really good, but like they look kind of ugly sometimes. I would have walked away with that. So like even as a neutral fan, I would have walked away from the series being like, whew, weird. Like the Red Sox have some heavy hitters. They got to put some stuff together. And also these Orioles, I'm told they're really good and they play ugly sometimes. So
the Orioles remind me of like a 2017 Red Sox where it's like they just feel like they're so close. Like their offense is so scary throughout. Like they just every time they seem to get like guys on base or a guy on second, it's like we're not getting out of this. Like they'd bang, double in the gap, home run, whatever. Their offense is so scary. And now they have an ace too, which we saw.
Yeah. I mean, he's awesome. Did you hear his AL East stats?
No. Good?
I wish you did because I don't have them handy. They're very good.
Yeah.
Check this out. The Baltimore Orioles have not lost a series to an AL East team since last April.
They got swept for the first time in over like 100 series the other day, a few weeks ago.
It's obnoxious.
It was against the Cardinals, by the way, so that made me feel better. Cardinals,
Makes
by
no
the
sense.
way, we made them red hot.
Shout out us.
I think they're 12 of their last 15 or something like that. Something crazy. They're still like
Very
500,
cool.
but
Must
good
be
for
cool.
me.
You know what? That leads me perfectly to the point that I was going to make, dude, and the reason that I brought this up.
Okay.
I have a number in my head at which point my heart comes back into the question, at which point I'm invested again.
Okay.
And I think it's a foolproof number because I think it's realistic, but at the same time, I think it's a number where if they get there, they have to do something. It would take like a collapse. It would take like a shitty stretch for them to fall apart. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. I'm back in 8 games over 500.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I mean, to be honest with you, when you were laying that out, I was trying to come up with my number, and 5 jumped out at me. So 8, I'd be absolutely. If they're 8 games over 500, you're right. Like they're buying at the deadline. I'm not now 8 games over 500. I'm not thinking World Series, but I'm thinking we're buying, and I'm thinking like this is a good team to put building blocks around. Get some guys
Like
with
right
2-year deals.
like right now they are exactly 500. They are 28 and 28, which I really love when we come back to an even number, which is going to happen again after this next series because the next series is 4 games. I like coming back with the possibility of them being 500 because they usually are. So add that to the list. They also hit the magic number of a 28 and 28. Like if they won 8 in a row, I think it would take me a while to come back down. If they went 10
Yeah.
and 2 over their next 12,
Mm-hmm.
would feel pretty good. Like I'm saying, at any point from here on out, 8 games over 500 has me feeling really good. And I think that that's realistic because I'll have to pull it up. I think they've been if you don't count 7 and 3, which I mean, I think even that's only 4 games over 500. But I believe they've been 5 games over 500. Give me a sec to find that.
Have you seen the schedule though coming up? If that's possible, I don't think it's going to be for a while.
What is it looking like coming up?
Let me.
Actually, you know what? I have it right now in front of me. They
Oh, that'd be great.
it is the Tigers,
Who are
Braves,
good?
White Sox. Like
White
that?
Sox, cool. Well, wait, hold on. You like that? Just that? You just like the White Sox?
Just
so that
that.
stretch is bad. Yeah.
Yep. 4 games against the White Sox. Okay. Yeah. And then it's
And yeah. Keep
Phillies,
going.
Yankees,
Mm-hmm.
Blue Jays, Reds, Blue Jays, Padres.
So I think for your thing to happen, you got to at least split Detroit. People don't realize how good they are. Probably. They
Mhm.
are. Actually, no, they've fallen off a ton. They're 27-28. Never mind. Maybe you win 3 out of 4 on that one. They started off red hot. I guess they've fallen off a cliff. Atlanta is what it is. You almost have to sweep the White Sox. Win 1 out of 3 versus Philly, maybe 1 out of 3 against New York, maybe 2. Who knows? It's divisional, whatever. Probably gonna be 1. Then you got to beat the crap out of Toronto, Cincinnati, Toronto again, and then San Diego. San Diego's 30-29, so like just a bunch of 500 teams
Yeah.
here. Toronto's 25 and
So
29.
in the middle of the Giants series, they were 18 and 13, 5 games over 500. And I remember that Giants series feeling pretty high because they had just won the Cubs series and the Giants series, and then they were heading on the road.
I think that stretch, like you have to, you pretty much have to win every game against the White Sox and Reds. And then you
Mhm.
have to play above 500 ball against those Toronto series and that Padres series. You got to win most of those games. So you got to go 7-3 or 6-4, like that kind of run. Probably closer to 7-3.
Because best case scenario in the middle of that stretch with the Phillies and Yankees, like you got to be hoping
You're gonna
for
win 2 of those.
500.
Oh, I would say you're hoping for 2-4. That'd be great. You come out of that 2. If you do everything else and then you go 2-4 in that stretch, but you split or win against Detroit, like you win 2 or 3 games against Detroit, beat up on the White Sox, the Reds, the Blue Jays, you can go 2-4 in the middle there.
It stinks that Kansas City is okay.
Yeah.
They're
More than
good
okay.
is what they are.
Yeah.
They're good. Because it would be great to have the stretch where you go Miami, Yankees, Oakland, KC, but KC is not KC anymore. So that's not a built-in series win at all. But that stretch too in July. That's early July right there. That'll be great. Still haven't played the Yankees. You thought about that at all? You feel Yankee-less? Because
I
I'll tell
think
you,
about that a lot.
I think about it, but I don't feel like I miss
Oh, I
them.
don't
I feel
miss
like I
it.
see
I
them so
don't.
much.
No, I wish I never saw them again. That's not true. We're bad, and it's just not. There's no rivalry right now. There hasn't been 2018 was the last time they were like both good, and after
21 was great.
oh, it's so true. You're so right. Okay, but
21
even
was
then,
great for it.
yeah, that's true. They were, yeah, that was the last one. But like those 2 years, and then just it's not fun being. And I don't mind it too much when we're the team shit kicking them. It doesn't bother me that bad, surprisingly.
Yeah.
When we're just like constantly beating up on the Yankees, I don't know why. I just don't mind it.
That doesn't
Uh,
bother you?
no, it doesn't bother
Good.
me. But now it's not really like exciting. Like, what are we like? Oh, good, we get to see what it's like. Judge Soto Verdugo, like how fun. What an
Mm.
outfield. I'm all set. I don't miss them at all, but you're
Yeah,
right. I do think of it as weird that we haven't played
I
them
think I
this year.
mean more like I don't feel deprived of Red Sox Yankees games. I'm not like, damn, like
No.
where is that? Even though they're better, like that aside, I just don't feel like I'm missing out on the games just because I see the Yankees in headlines so much and I see so many of their
Oh,
clips. And
thank
it's
you.
just like, I feel like we have played them. It's like my brain is tricked into believing I see the Yankees all the time. What do you mean we haven't played them? So I'm not
Yeah.
like
I
yearning for
mean,
Red Sox Yankees games. On
I have
top
a
of the whole, they'll probably win them thing.
I don't know. I have a skewed view, I think, because I have equity in the Yankees site, but so I do say a little involved. But you know what I will say is like to me the real like thing that gets my gets the juices flowing for me is when we play the Orioles. Because like
Yeah.
if we were to win 2 out of 3 against the O's right now, as sad as it sounds, it's like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
A sweep against the Orioles would hit like crack. I mean, I
Oh,
assume. I don't know.
sure.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
here's the
the
thing:
Yankees, I'd
the
be like,
Yankees are
eh.
ahead of them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's. I think sweeping the Yankees wouldn't like. Nah, I mean, it'd be fun,
The
I'm
thing is,
sure,
you
but
haven't seen
I
them
don't
and you
know.
haven't felt it. Like if you get out
Yeah,
there,
exactly.
like if they played the Yankees tomorrow and Boone is doing his Boone thing, and
Mhm.
Doogie has some quote about how much he prefers being in the Bronx versus Boston, and whatever, like there's like that gets flowing before first pitch. Like you'd feel it. You'd feel the crack of a Yankee sweep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. They're so boring to me. It's the uniforms. It's the stadium.
Yeah.
They're an exciting team, but it's just like they're slow in power and their pitching's good, but it's a bunch of like whatever names for the most part. And there's just nobody that like they're just boring. Like they're just a boring good team to me.
Yeah. And they're, I mean,
And then like, oh, Soto's doing well. It's like, yeah, he's the best left-handed hitter in the league, and he's playing in a rinky-dink field. Like, not,
yeah.
I'm never one of those guys being like, oh, like he should. That doesn't really like count the same. I'm just saying like, yeah, of course, like yeah, like of course he's gonna do well there. Like that was expected.
Have you been to Yankee Stadium?
No, I was supposed to go. Uh, I used to go to New York every year for an AAU tournament, and then we had the one game that was on like a Thursday or something. Like every other game started like the next day. We had one game that was so I got tickets and then never got to go.
Well, let me tell you, you feel how small that right field is. It's so
I'd
evident.
imagine.
It's crazy. Like I don't at Fenway for whatever reason. Like I think it's because it's like we grew up going there. Like you just kind of
Mhm.
accept it. It's like yeah, it's funky. Like is what it
Yeah, yeah,
is,
yeah.
But when you go to Yankee Stadium, it's like wow, it's stunning to be like it's right there. That's a home run right there. And I understand like pesky pole's closer or whatever, but it's it's shallow, bro. You feel it. Um, yeah. Anyway, just kind of missing the I don't know, not missing the Yankees. Just haven't really noticed it, but I am looking forward to it now that we talk it out. I got some thoughts to empty out of my brain with you, Scott.
Go for it.
It's really just one. Masataka Yoshida will start swinging a bat next week. You will resume baseball activities, which means swinging a bat. Now, I don't know about you, but every time I hear that a guy is going to start swinging a bat again, there's something is tricked in my head where it sounds like they're learning how to play baseball again. It's like you haven't been swinging a bat like a little bit. Like I get it, you're hurt, but
Just
you're
thumb,
just
yeah.
starting up again. Like it blows my mind that these guys like don't pick up a bat during the off season and then can just go and do this, or when they get hurt, like just take a couple weeks and not swinging a bat at all. Like I understand that's how it works, but it always puts my brain in a little bit of a kerfuffle.
I know, like, you didn't make it to the big leagues, but you didn't
Yeah,
have that where, like, how you played through, like, high school?
yeah, yeah. A little. I dabbled a little bit afterwards.
So then you should know what that feels like, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I was never a big leaguer. Sure, I would go months without picking up a
No,
bat, but I
I
also like
understand
wasn't
that,
working
but
on my craft, bro. You know what I mean?
like, if you were hitting BP and you took, like, extended period of time off, wouldn't it just, like don't you think it would come back to you?
Never did. My swing
Really?
changed every year.
Really?
Yeah, swing changed
I
every
think
year. I was not good. I was probably a career
no,
180 hitter, bro. I was
but
not good.
it's that's yeah, but I get that, but, like, I still feels like you would have the same 180 swing. Like, it would be, like, your ability, whatever it was, would come back. I
I
don't know.
don't know.
I
I
genuinely think
think as an adult, I have more consistency now. It's like goofing
yeah,
with
I
friends,
could
like taking BP with
uh
friends. I feel like, oh, now I got it.
yeah, I don't know. I think that's the only reason I get it is just because I have, like it doesn't matter how good you are, like, BP still feels the same for them as it does for you. It's more fun for them, I'm sure. But, I mean, like,
Hmm.
it's just, like, not hard to get back into that groove, I feel like. That's I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, he will be getting back into it next week. Uh,
I forgot he was on the
I don't
team when I saw
know.
that.
Do you feel his absence?
I just told you, I genuinely would forget he's on the team now.
Yeah.
Like, when I think about the future and the present, I did a whole breakdown of the lineup where I was like, I think Willier's a core player, and then you have Devers, you have Casas, you're gonna have Wong, and then you're gonna have Teal, Anthony, Marcelo, and I just forgot about Yoshida
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
I don't know where he fits on the team, which is the main reason. But yeah, I forget about it, and it's tough because I really don't think it's that much his like people are like, oh well, he's like a bust. It's like, dude, he had like a bad month. Like, what are we
Yeah.
talking about? And I know he had a bad second half last year too, but it's like he also had a really good stretch, and his overall numbers were very strong. Like, people talk about like a bad half, but it's like he hit what, like 280,
Yeah.
higher
Not
than
far
that, I
off.
think. And yeah, he's just been completely written off. So I would actually love a revenge tour for Yoshida. That would bring me a lot of joy. I mean, he's a career 109 hitter. He has a 107 OPS plus this season. He's hitting 275 this season.
I know that feels crazy,
Yeah,
especially
like,
because like
people talk
he'll
like he's
go
a
a week
200
where
hitter.
he only hits the ball directly down.
Yeah.
He has a launch angle of -0, and he'll still find a way to
He hit
hit
289
275.
last season. He hit 289 last year with 72 RBIs. And people act like he sucked.
Didn't he also have like 3 defensive run saves? Like,
No.
was it
I believe,
-3?
I believe it was -9.
No.
I'll look
No.
that up. Oh,
I remember being like, look at these numbers. He's not that bad. If it was
Well-
-9, I would be like, he's bad.
well, let me check. 28.
Yeah,
so
go and
he's-
check. I'm gonna say it was like -3.
It's -8. His arm value was only a -4 though, but that puts him in the 3rd percentile. So not awesome, you know. No, I remember. The only reason I remember his numbers was because there was a point in the season where I was writing it and it was -9, and then in like November, December, January, somewhere in there, they like adjusted a fly ball that they gave him like a not enough credit for, and they changed it to -8. Like they left field at Fenway screws up out like the outs above average sometimes because people like it'll hit the wall and it'd be like should have got to that ball. I don't know why it's like that, but I've heard
Right.
that is a problem. That Fenway kind of screws with left fielders metrics. So like the range and stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, -8. I remember they changed it in the offseason because it made a couple of my articles incorrect. And I was just like, great. You can't just change stats on me. That's bullshit. You
That's
can't do that.
crazy. That is weird. What a
But
weird job
-8.
to be.
Yeah. That's
-8.
why
Okay. All right. That's
he's
fair.
bad. He's bad. That's why the DH thing happened.
Oh, my
That's
eyes
why
said otherwise for a long time.
That's yeah. I don't think it didn't look like that, but I mean,
No.
I think the eye test though, where you really have to pay attention is when the ball drops in front and is a one hopper, and you go. I think the average person would have made that. Not the average big leaguer would have gotten to that ball.
Yeah,
I think
I think my
those are
buddy
the plays
Billy
they
could have
don't look
got that
at.
one.
Yeah, they might have been able to.
Damn. Well, we miss you, Masa, and we'll miss you guys. But we'll see you after these 4 games against the Detroit Tigers.
Oh, hey, we gotta
Should be a
talk about
fun
them.
one.
Hey,
What?
we gotta talk about them.
What?
We gotta talk about like the next series. We gotta talk about it.
Oh, yeah, they're playing the Tigers at home, 4 games. All right, we'll see you.
Nope. Hey, nope. Hey, we
after
gotta because we're gonna. What's gonna happen is like normally we talk about like
Oh,
the record.
I
and
know
who we
what
think's
you're
gonna
getting.
happen.
I know. Thank you to Prize Picks.
No.
Game time.
Well, yes, but no, that's not where I'm going with that. It's see, we talk about like how do we think we were gonna do this series and all this stuff, and we talk about like the next team. But usually before we do that, Joey, we do the pitching preview.
Okay, folks, it is 4 games back at home against the Detroit Tigers. Game 1 is going to be Nick Pivetta versus Jack Flaherty. Nick Pivetta is Canadian. You might be asking yourself, how is Canada celebrating Pivetta Day? I'll tell you, at 8:25 a.m., the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, will visit the site of a biomanufacturing facility. Media are asked to arrive no later than 7:45 a.m. Pivetta has a blazing 4.20 ERA. The Victoria native got knocked around by the Brewers his last time out. He had a 3.04 ERA before that start. Also, Victoria Day in Canada 2 starts ago. Huge missed opportunity on my part. Game 2. Nope. Jack Flaherty is not Canadian. He's from California. He's good for a homer every start and pretty consistently goes exactly 6. 81 Ks in 61 innings. That's pretty good. 9 walks over those 61 innings. Also pretty good. Game 2 is going to be Tanner Houck versus Kenta Maeda. Tanner Houck's ERA touched 2 for the first time this year, 2 starts ago, and he immediately threw 18 2/3 innings, allowing just 2 earnies. That ERA is now back down to 190, where it belongs. 100th percentile in breaking pitch run value. Ooh-wee! Kenta Maeda has my vote for favorite baseball name. Not the best baseball name. My favorite. Hear it again. Kenta Maeda. Kenta Maeda. He's not very good. Game 3 is going to be Cooper Criswell versus Reese Olson. Cooper Criswell has a good changeup. It is his most used pitch now. Opponents are hitting .226 against it and slugging just .323, which is a far cry from his .381 average and .619 slug just a year ago. Reese Olson, no relation to Jackson, or is there? I do not know. I did not check. And game 4 is going to be Brian Bayo versus Casey Mize. Brian Bayo is confusing, and his 4 starts in May, well, they've been something. A 5.66 ERA in 20 2/3. Not great. Not great. And Casey Mize doesn't walk batters, but beyond that, dude sucks. And that is going to do it for your pitching preview. I don't like to think of the Tigers as anything other than dog shit. I really don't. So, very much like the Royals, I prefer teams like that stay in their place. So, the fact that we're sitting here talking about, like, will they split with the Tigers? Kill me. Put a real gun to my real head. What a terrible reality that we've found ourselves in.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel though? Do you think like give a prediction? 4 games. What do you think?
I said put a real gun to my real head. So
So not high.
Not too high. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with a split.
I lean that way too. I think weirdly, I think if they don't win 3 games, it's like a nail in the coffin almost. It's like, all right, you know what? Like, this team really is just gonna be. I mean, I fully believe all year that this is an 80-ish win team. Like, I don't expect a rise. But if that's ever gonna happen, you gotta at least go 3 out of 4 against a 500 team, which we also are. But that's the only way you get out of that.
I mean, how many lefties do they have going?
I'm gonna go with the split. I'm going with a split. I don't think they're better than that. I wouldn't be stunned if they won 3. I wouldn't be stunned if they won 1.
That's brutal. Is this 4 righties that they are facing?
They are.
It is 4 righties.
I will say they have to be going bad right now because they started off very strong. The Tigers. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They have a 0 run differential.
Nice. That's more 500 than anybody.
Against better than 500 teams, they are 9-13. We are exactly 500, so I don't know what that means for us. Do you know what we are?
In terms of what?
Better than 500 teams. There's been 32 times this has happened. Nope. 34. 34 games. How many
10-24.
Oh, 12 and 22. So
12-22.
bad.
Yeah, that
Bad.
sounds about right.
Bad. But also 11 and 15 at home.
Yeah.
We have 24.
Not good
run
against good
differential, though.
teams, not good at home.
They have this new thing in the MLB app where they have like projected standings, and that make no sense to me. Like, we're 28-28. They say our expected record is 31-25. Wish it was. I think it's based on run differential. I
have no idea.
It's just, I've looked at that the other day.
Expected record is crazy. I don't know if we need that.
Yeah. I was looking at that and I was like, what on earth does that supposed to mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Any other Tigers thoughts?
Like the team or like general?
Yeah, the team, because we could sit here and talk about the animal for hours, and I don't want to do that.
They got a really good pitcher, but
Flaherty?
not our problem. No, well, he's good too. But
Flaherty's very good.
Yeah, that's not who I was referring to though. Scooball.
Yeah.
But we avoided him, thank God. Right? Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, I don't.
Yep. Barely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's good. That makes it much more manageable. I think, like I said, I think this is just two middling, like very even teams. Although our team, I feel like, has more pedigree. They also just put Kerry Carpenter on the IL, so who's one of their best hitters. So I don't know. There's an opportunity here for sure, and you got to get you got to get 3 wins, but you got to at least get 2 wins.
Well, we'll be back after this, hopefully, series split against the Tigers. That's bleak. We'll be back. What?
I got a closing thought.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, well, it's not really a closing thought, but this is the
Do
only
you have a
part
hinge
of the
match
show
fun
where I can
fact?
talk about this. No, I've been slacking.
Son of a bitch, bro.
It's just a weird
All
thing
right.
to do.
Yeah,
you
talk
know?
to me. What do you got?
I had
dude?
one
What's your
person
closing
that had a
thought?
lot of good fun facts, and then I stopped talking to her. And I think she may have picked up on the fact, even though I'm the one that stopped answering. I think it was pretty obvious that I was just using her for content. Because I would just text her every like 3 days and be like, "Hey, that last fun fact was so good. You got any more?"
You were supposed to
I
match
know.
with these women and
I
be like,
know.
"Hey, give me a fun fact," and not say it's for a podcast, but be like, "Hey, give me a fun fact,"
Oh, okay.
and that's it.
Okay, let's see if I can. I mean, you want to fire some text off right now?
Fire a text off while you're telling your closing thought.
Okay. That'd be easier if you were telling the closing thought. But give me a fun
Oh,
fact, please.
I don't have a closing thought. If I did have a closing thought, I don't even know what it would be about. This is me trying to stall for you. I don't have the ability to. I do not know this one. You go.
Okay, so this I'm hoping. I feel like you've seen this. I feel like you have.
Okay.
But I'm hoping that while you were doing your pitching preview, you missed this. Jorge Lopez. Did you see this?
No.
Really? Oh, don't look it up. This is perfect. So the Mets lost 10-3 today to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
In that game, when it was already 9-3, he was on the mound. There was a check swing. He says something about the check swing to the third base umpire. Umpire ejects him from the mound. He was like, "Get out." Ejects him from the mound. He gets so mad. As he's walking off the mound, throws his glove into the stands.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad you don't know about this. They ask him about it. They say, "Do you regret that?" He says, "No." And then he said that the Mets were the worst team in the whole fucking MLB.
What?
And then this is the best part. He said something basically like, "If they want me here tomorrow, I'll be here." What, like, basically, like, I'm done. Like, if they cut me, they cut me. It was basically what along the lines of what he said. Like, he was like, "I'll show up tomorrow if they want me to." And then he's, a Puerto Rican, I believe. And so then people from the Spanish community tried to defend him and say, "Hey, he doesn't speak Spanish." He meant to say he's the worst teammate in the MLB. And that was after, by the way, Steve Gelb, who was the one that initially asked the question, was like, "Is that exactly what you meant? Did you mean to say that we're the worst team?" And he goes, "I gave him a chance to clarify, and he confirmed that's what he meant." And then a Spanish reporter was like, "He meant to say he was the worst teammate, not the worst, not on the worst team." And then after Anthony DeComo from SNY, good guy, he clarified again, and he said, regarding confusion over whether Lopez said he was on the worst team or was the worst teammate, I'm told Lopez later explained his comments as a combination of both, the worst teammate on the worst team. And he got DFA'd.
He did?
No, yeah, yeah. Awesome.
Oh,
Best
man.
Best story to come out of baseball this year since Ipe.
Oh, that's awesome. I
I know-
forgot about Ipe for a minute there.
Yeah, that is so.
And then he got DFA'd. That's so funny to be like, no, I meant both.
3.76 if their ERA if the Red Sox are interested. I'm very curious what happens with him because he's a guy talent-wise that would certainly get claimed. But what he and I don't think he's ever had a moment like this before. But like, do you want this guy? Oh man, I think
Wow.
he's definitely gonna get claimed by somebody. So that should be interesting because
That's awesome.
that was a guy that I wrote about today. I was writing about Diekman and Ottavino as like ex-Red Sox players, but Buster only literally today was like Ottavino, Diekman, and Lopez are like trade candidates because the Mets stink. Apparently, the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
And
The whole
and
fucking
then
MLB, I think, was the quote.
yeah. So I was really writing about like, yeah, they could get like a chip for him, and now it's like, nope, actually, you can just claim him if you want him.
Yeah. I want to hear him say it.
Oh, it's good. It's like a 40-second clip. I don't know if we want to play it, but
I would probably pipe it in if I was going to play it.
are we just watching you listen to it right now?
Yeah. Sorry. Yep. Yeah. I had to hear it. But yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome.
That was. I'm so glad that you were unaware of this.
Damn. Well, as always, at least we're not the Mets.
Facts.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Follow us on the socials at ITM_pod. You can follow me at Joey Copponi. You can follow him at Scott Neville 46, like Jacoby Ellsbury. Thank you to Prize Picks, the exclusive
Brad
daily
Keller.
fantasy. And Brad Keller. Yeah. Thanks so much for your service. Is that it?
Yeah.
Just thanks.
Go Bananas.
What was his final line?
Is he
4
gone?
innings, 4 runs. I mean,
Yeah.
no.
He's 46. They shouldn't give you 46 unless they think you're going to be a Hall
Oh,
of Famer.
that's what you were saying. I thought you were like, really quick, we have to mention Brad Keller.
No. I said and Brad Keller when you said like Jacoby Ellsbury.
Oh, yep.
Did you think I was going to bring up another bullet point at that point in the show?
I really did, and I just accepted it. I was like, yeah, sure. Brad Keller.
Yeah, you didn't
also.
seem too bothered by it. You should have been
No.
like, excuse me. Hey, man.
No, I was just going to let it fly. I was going to be like, yeah, sure. Brad Keller
Emptying
also
the
was
bench,
here. He
closing
stunk.
thoughts, so many opportunities. And now you want to talk about Brad Keller?
Yeah,
I'm trying to go home?
wait till I'm doing the sponsors. Then we'll talk about Brad Keller. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Follow us wherever. Thanks to Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network, and to Game Time. Get yourself some tickets. Go to the Bananas. When are you going to see this kind of stuff again? You got to tell your grandkids about this. You're going to have to tell your grandkids about baseball. And then also you get to tell them about circus baseball or whatever you want to call the Bananas. We'll see you after this thrilling Tiger split. For Scott Neville, I'm Joey Copponi. Go Sox.